Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. It's your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Reach out to me directly, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Today, we're discussing a beloved favorite among Rolex collectors. It's not a sub-GMT or a Daytona, but it is just as cool and just as handsome. This is the Rolex Oyster Perpetual Yacht-Master 116622. 904L, highly anti-corrosive stainless steel with a solid platinum Yachtsman's bezel. Now, this is a watch that is 40 millimeters in diameter by 11.4 millimeters thick by 47.3 millimeters lug-to-lug if you include just the case, and if you include the solid end links, its distance across the wrist is 49.9 millimeters with a 20 millimeter spacing between the lugs. Now, undo the double lock of the Oyster clasp. Let's throw it on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference, and it's a great fit. I can recommend this watch for a wrist as small as 13.5 centimeters circumference. It is flat enough at 11.4 millimeters to slide easily under a dress cuff if you want to wear it with formal attire. It's not excessively broad across the wrist, and if you were to put it on a strap, I know unlikely with a modern Rolex, it would fit even better on a small wrist. Taking a quick look at the hardware, the Oyster bracelet, as you see, is in its most deluxe form with polished center links. You can see that the outer faces are polished, the shoulders are satinated, the center links are polished, removable links as on all Rolex bracelets, fixed in place by screws, and then we have a Oyster clasp with double locking. We have a combination of the lift lock system, which has a beak and a hook internally. And then we have the clamshell, and the clamshell locks solid with a little kerf so you can dig your nail in underneath. But it's important to note you can't just pull it open like this. There is that second lock, and that's the lift lock system. Jumping quickly into the clasp, you can see Rolex Easy Link. It's a tool-free in and out 5 millimeter system that allows you to add or remove the equivalent of one full sizable link. So you can do that without any tools. Now, if you were to bring a strap tool into the equation, there are 3 divots drilled inside the clasp, and you can see the little tracks that help to lead the spring bar into them. But with your strap tool, you can change the anchoring point of the clasp inside, and you can change that anchoring point of the bracelet inside the clasp. Now, rolling back to the case, it is not a Submariner case. Now, I've got a current Submariner. Even with the 2020 sub and its somewhat more tapered lugs, you can see the super case just isn't as complex and as purely beautiful as the flowing, sensuous lines or the complex curves of the Yacht-Master. This is more like the Rolex Daytona in terms of its surfacing and its shape, and you can see that it remains considerably more elegant than even the upgraded 2020 model super case. So that's a good comparison side by side. I would also say realistically, the crown guard structure is graceful, minimalist, and effective. It does have a trip-lock crown note, so although it's 100 meters water resistant, the triple seal crown suggests that Rolex is probably derating its water resistance or understating it just to protect the pride and image of the Submariner. Now, of course, the watch features a bi-directional bezel, so it's not a dive watch, but thank goodness for that. Today, with Rolex dive bezels featuring a ceramic insert, give me full platinum, especially when it's media blasted internally with raised, relieved, and polished numerals and indices. Now, you line that up with the minutes hand, and now you can time to the start of a match within a regatta or a sailboat race. Very handy. You have a dial with an explosive sunburst blue, a few well-chosen shocks of red, including the red varnished lollipop counterweighted seconds hand. You can also see Yacht-Master printed on the dial. White gold hands and indices. The idea is that over time they will never tarnish or oxidize. They will just be as shiny as the day they left Geneva in 50, 60, 70 years. Cyclops eye magnifier for the date. Inside the case, Rolex manufactured caliber 3135. Bidirectional winding, very smooth with a jeweled staff. 48-hour power reserve. Quick set date, stop seconds or hacking. It beats away at 8 beats per second, pivots on 31 joules, and it is a COSC certified Swiss chronometer. But Rolex goes further. Rolex takes the certified movement, puts it in the case, tests it in 6 positions, and as a fully cased up watch, Rolex tests the watch to timing no worse than plus or minus 2 seconds per day, hence the superlative chronometer nomenclature. In the modern era, it actually means something. It's also a tough movement with a full balance bridge and a free sprung index for shock resistance. It features a handmade Breguet overcoil hairspring that allows the hairspring to breathe concentrically in any physical orientation it might be on your wrist, helping the watch to earn the chronometer certification. And then and the hairspring itself is made of a blue oxidized niobium zirconium that is highly anti-magnetic, and Rolex calls that parachrom blue. All told, this is a fantastic watch, whether you like to sit high and dry, swim a little bit, command your yacht, or perhaps just dream of it. This is the companion with which to do so. And, mercifully, it's not a GMT, a sub, or a Daytona. Reach out to tmosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details. And we're back with the steel and platinum Rolex Yacht-Master. Rolex making its own cases, bracelets, and clasps, along with dials and movements. This watch is all Rolex.